October 17th meeting to order at 6:14 p.m. And I'm going to ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Commissioners Cavell?
Here.
Gershenson? Here. Gingell is excused. Hoffman?
Present.
Jackson is excused. Johnson?
Present.
Joliet?
Here.
Long?
Here.
Lubes is excused. Markham? Here. McGilvery is excused. Miller?
Here.
Nelson? Here. Powell? Here. Rahman?
Present.
Smith Charles?
Present.
Spiz?
Present.
Whitebert?
Here.
Woodward?
Here.
Mr. Chair, you have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Tonight's invocation is going to be led by the Honorable Commissioner Dr. Ajay Rahman. So I'll call Dr. Rahman to the podium, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Honorable Commissioner
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Distinguished members of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, esteemed guests, and fellow citizens. As we gather here this evening in the spirit of community and collaboration, we invoke a sense of unity, understanding, and shared purpose. Let us take a moment to reflect on the responsibilities entrusted to us and the impact our decisions have on the lives of the people we are entrusted to serve. We call upon the wisdom of those who have come before us, whose dedication and hard work have built the foundations of our county. May their commitment to progress and the betterment of our community guide our deliberations and decisions. Let us also remember the diverse voices that make up our county, representing a multitude of perspectives, needs, and aspirations. May we approach our discussions with open hearts and open minds, striving to find solutions that uplift and empower every member of our community. In this moment, let us set aside personal interests and agendas and focus on the collective well-being of our county. May our debates be marked by respect, civility, and a genuine desire to find common ground. As we embark on the tasks before us, we ask for the courage to make tough choices when necessary, the empathy to understand the implications of those choices, and the foresight to envision a county that thrives now and for generations to come. Let this meeting be a beacon of transparency, accountability, and progress. May our decisions reflect the highest standards of integrity and stewardship as we work together to build a county that we can all be proud to call home. With that, please join me in reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next up is the approval of the minutes from the September 21st meeting. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Moved by Commissioner Joliet, seconded by Commissioner Miller. Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that the minutes are adopted unanimously. Next up is approval of the agenda as presented. Moved by Commissioner Rahman, seconded by Commissioner Whitebert. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor of approving the agenda say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Let the record reflect that the agenda has been approved unanimously. We've got we have a proclamation, a couple of presentations, and so I'm going to hand the gavel over to Commissioner Vice Chair Commissioner Gershenson. And the first up is a proclamation to someone who's no stranger to us as we celebrate a lifetime of service. So I'm going to present it.
I would be there too.
Okay, you'll get there too. Come down for this. All right, Gene, come on up here. Everyone knows Gene Gargaro, who has, aside doing so many things, and my path have crossed with him on so many events and activities over the years, particularly advocating for this region. But something that he is as synonymous with as, in my opinion, the Diego Rivera with the DIA is Gene Gargaro. I had the opportunity, I can't believe it's, probably closing in on 20 years, 15 years, or it's more than that, to, really get to work with, this individual who, really brings the definition of what public service is, a volunteer job who falls in love with art after finding himself on the DIA board, and to become a person who ushers in that passion for so many others, for so many communities. When the DIA was facing very serious financial issues, Gene at the helm of the DIA, helped usher in a solution that has not only resulted in working with, what I believe is one of the greatest regional collaborations in Southeast Michigan with Oakland, Macomb, and Wayne, and the creation of our individual arts authorities, asking the voters of this region to help support this institution to make sure it's available, but also in that process, to bring that museum, which is an institution as a graduate of Wayne State University that would go over there for lunch, to bring that museum out into the community and bring so many young people with all the programming that's come as a result of that. I remember in the late hours working to see if we're going to get this thing across the finish line. I remember where I was when we crossed the mark of the support that was going to exist out there. And then when you think that yeoman's task was done, he had to help usher the museum through the greatest municipal bankruptcy in our nation's history, and not only save the museum, but put it on a better footing than ever before. I've learned so much from this gentleman, not only in his stewardship of this incredible great institution, but his leadership of marshaling a board to engage a community, to realize why we're here in the first place, and to do this as a labor of love, outside of all of his other work is truly tremendous. And I'm proud to call him a friend. And on behalf of the Oakland County Board of Commissioners, want to provide you a proclamation honoring all of your work, all of these years, not only into helping, not only save a museum for generations, but to put it in the best footing, but for really being a symbol that represents regional collaboration and everything else that you do. So thank you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Wonderful.
All right. The resolution is in the packet, but I think I said the words here. So let's get a photo here. Let's get in front of here.
All right.
And then you get the mic before I bring up the rest of the team here. All right, another round of applause for Gene Gargaro. So that's for you. And the mic is yours, sir.
All right. Well, thank you and good night. The chairman just gave my speech. I will be brief, but it's great to be back here, and excuse my back. But thank you very, very much, Mr. Chair. And if you were here, Executive Coulter, the Board of Commissioners, members of the Art Authority, and I'm glad our chair, Mr. Guastello, is here. We've had 12 great years together. And of course, Salvador and our wonderful DIA team, and I'm accepting this on behalf of all of you, and well done. I'm so happy. I remember well, Dave, like it was yesterday when we passed the millage, and Dave cornered me out in the hallway and he said, we need to do a services agreement. I said, what's that? Well, it's been something that's been the highlight of the last 12 years, and it's continuing to help students and seniors and community programs, free admission. It's been the hallmark of our success. And I just thank you all for this opportunity. I know you have a long agenda this evening. Many of you have volunteered, I know, in a variety of causes. After 20 years, the DIA, I think, is in my DNA. So you're going to see me, if Salvador will keep me close, after we welcome our new board chair, Lane Coleman, January 1st. I can't wait for you to meet him. Terrific new young leadership at the museum. So thank you all, and again, this is a very special honor.
And next up, we get our regular updates. I mean, it's almost like we planned this. That the regular update, we are so great to have this partnership with Oakland County and the Detroit Institute of Arts. And so to give the updates, we have our executive director of the DIA, Salvador Huns, who's here to come up here as well. I mean, Julie McFarland and everybody else that is part of the presentation. And we appreciate these updates to highlight all the fabulous things that the museum is doing and reminding all of us of why this partnership is so important. And I believe, it's like that, the screens will come on.
Oh, almost.
2 snaps.
There we go. Do you want to start?
Go ahead. So Julie?
Yes. Yes. Good evening. I'm Julie McFarland. I'm Executive Director of Public Affairs and Community Engagement. And first, I just want to thank Chair Woodward for allowing us time on your agenda tonight. We really appreciate this chance to share all that's happening at the museum and to highlight the programs that we bring to your communities. The millage support provided by the residents of Oakland County has really transformed the museum into an outward-facing organization. It ensures the DIA's ability to sustain operations and to care for the collection, and it also supports robust programming and special exhibitions. We talk a lot about the specific benefits outlined in our service agreements for Oakland County residents when we come here to present to you, but your free admission benefit is really just the beginning of unlocking everything that the DIA has to offer and everything that we do to engage our Tri-County visitors. A few examples of programs and activities that are available at the museum with your free admission benefit is Friday Night Live performances, a full film program in the Detroit Film Theater, drawing in the galleries, drop-in art making in the studio, as well as really big campus-wide events like Concert of Colors and De-Electricity. On average, 80% of our visitors are residents of Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties. So everything we do is designed with the goal of making residents feel authentically connected, respected, represented, and welcomed. While the last few years have been extraordinary, we're excited to share with you some of the recent awards that the DIA has been recognized for, and also a little introduction. So I'm going to turn this over to Salvador for the next couple slides.
Thank you, Julie, and thanks the Commission for allowing us to report out today on the great work the DIA team is doing, and also thanks to Chair Woodward for the opportunity. It's really fantastic to have here our board chair, Jean Gargaro, who has done an incredible work and continues to do incredible work for the organization. As Chair Woodward was mentioning, the millages, taking the museum out of bankruptcy, as well as the expansion of 2007, and finally, now leaving the DIA in the best financial position of its entire history is really fantastic. So thank you, Jean. I know you're going to continue to be working with us. I count on it. Everybody counts on it. You are definitely part of the DNA of the DIA, as you were mentioning. As Jean was saying, we're also very excited to welcome our new board chair, Lane Coleman, who has been serving on the board of the DIA in the executive committee as well in the audit and finance. He's a collector of African American art, very engaged, and we're just very, very excited. He's coming tomorrow to have a conversation, Q&A with the staff. And so they get to know him. He wants to get very involved and really understand the great services that this museum provides to Oakland County and the other 2 counties. So hopefully in the next time that we come here in front of this commission, we'll have the opportunity to have him with us. So you also have the opportunity to talk to him and get to know him. He's just a terrific individual. We're very excited for Lane and looking forward to the next chapter. This year has been fantastic for the DIA, and the reality is that this is kind of substantiated with the amazing awards the museum has received in 2020 and 2023. As you can see on the screen, I call it the trophy slide with all the awards that we received, starting with the Van Gogh exhibition that received Best International Exhibition by the Spanish art magazine Ars. I was in Madrid in September at the Museum Thyssen-Bornemisza, where I received this international award and really celebrating this great achievement of the DI in front of many museum leaders around the world, the Spanish Ministry of Culture, and many collectors. I'm also very excited to share with all of you some news that you probably already know. The museum was chosen best art museum in the United States by USA Today. This is done through popular vote. So democratically, we're chosen the best museum in the USA. So that's just great. Now we need to keep it at this level. So we're going to continue, and we're going to hope to be the best museum in 2024 as well. You know, it's not only art what the DI provides to our visitors. We also have other kinds of experiences, music, performances, but also there is food, and there is a fantastic cafe, and the American Alliance of Museums named the DI Cafe in Kresge Court as one of the best cafes in the United States. So, you know, that's good to know that our visitors are enjoying also our food and beverages. So finally, I wanted to also mention the fact that the museum during the last 4, 5, 6, actually 6 years has devoted a lot of time, invested a lot of resources in creating a great place to work. Our staff is very important. And that work has recently been recognized by Crain's magazine. They have a program, the Excellence in HR, and the DIA received the award in the category of Employee Experience and Retention. So kudos to the HR team at the DIA, and we will continue to provide, you know, a great place to work. This is something that never gets done. It's always in progress, and we take it very seriously. Last thing I would say before my colleagues continue with the presentation is another area that we have invested a lot of resources is digital. We are growing in the digital arena by creating our digital division, and we have appointed our first chief digital officer at the DIA. And I wanted to show you one of the products that has been produced in these last years. So. Click again. Okay, so this video about the museum. It was done with a drone. We had the help of the military to do this. It was amazingly safe, but it shows the museum in a different way. And we want to use this video to promote the museum locally, nationally, and internationally, but also the video, we're going to do specific clips on it to show our schools. So before the kids come to the museum, they can see the DIA in this video and get excited about the works of art that they are going to be seeing. It's your turn, right? amazing collection we have in the museum. It's one of the best museums in the country. Here, a piece by Mario Moore, who is a Detroit artist, and the museum has been buying many works, a couple of works, sorry, by him. Kahini Wiley, Charles McGee, our Dutch collection, extraordinary. Rembrandt. And obviously the Trainfield Theater, to end up with this amazing drawn fly inside and outside of the Detroit Institute of Arts. So that's some of the work our digital division is doing to promote our museum locally, nationally, international, but also to help with our education work. Julie, why don't you continue?
Thank you for indulging us in this video. We all work in the museum, and I have to say, like, I never get tired of watching that. So as Salvador said, we're using all of that footage. This is a marketing video that we're using. In particular, our seniors just love it. We've been going to senior fairs all over Oakland County, and it's really great to have that playing on the table. It gives us something to look at with the seniors. It brings up a lot of memories for them, especially when we see like the Rembrandt or the Nut Gatherers, pictures that are so, represent our collection so well. So there's another video that's in the works. This is going to be for our K through 12 students. This will give us a chance to, before they get to the museum, kind of orient them to the museum before their visit. We know that when our young people know what to expect, it makes that field trip experience go a lot more smoothly, and it cuts down on the orientation time on the day of their visit. We're also creating a video for educators with some of this footage, just to give them a sense of what they can do at the museum when they come with their students, and to sort of get them excited about booking a field trip with us. So I'm just going to go over really quickly just the outline of the 4 benefits, the 4 categories that benefits for Oakland County residents fall under. We meet with the Art Authority in Oakland County 3 times a year. We just met with them recently to go over our half-year report. So you'll find that report in the folders. I'm just going to do like a quick overview, but you'll get a lot more detail on what we've done in the first half of 2023 from that report. So first of all, free admission. Since the beginning of the millage, we have welcomed over 870,000 visitors from Oakland County. And I was also sharing with Commissioner Weipert and Commissioner Joliet, we had 73,000 visitors from Oakland County come for Van Gogh. And between me and just you guys, that was more than we had from Wayne and more than we had from Macomb. So Oakland County was the winner there. The school program, since the beginning of the millage, we've had over 162,000 students come to the museum for a free field trip. Those are K through 12 students, and they also get a free bus. So it's a great chance to get kids down to the museum, give them that introduction to art and to everything that the museum has to offer, and hopefully beginning, sort of a lifelong relationship and interest in art at a really young age. We also do work with educators. We provide student resources so that their field trip experience will last longer. They can take some of the resources that we have to extend that learning experience into the classroom. We also do teacher professional development events to reinforce that. We do custom professional development events. So if we have a school or a school district who has something in particular they want to reinforce with their students, we help design something to help them do that through art. We also post resources on all our exhibitions for students and teachers and lesson plans. And we also have a take-home like a delivered kit called DIA Delivered, and that is something that teachers can use right in their classroom with hands-on activities to make those connections to art in the classroom. Our senior program, these are for senior groups in Oakland County. They can come down to the museum on, I'll call it a senior field trip. They can get a guided experience or unguided, and we will also pay for that transportation if their group is 25 people or more. We do behind the scene art talks in the communities, so a senior group can sign up for that. We have about 20 different topics available. They can look through them online on our website and book that. We will have a docent either come to their location and give that art talk in person, or for seniors who still like virtual, they'll do it virtually as well. So in your report, you'll see a list of every senior group that came so far this year, every senior group who had a behind-the-scene art talk. And then there is a picture here of a gentleman at the piano, Elvin Waddles, Detroit's own Elvin Waddles. He is one of our performers for the senior program. So we realize not all seniors are able to walk through the museum. So this fall, we introduced a new opportunity called Melodies at the Museum. We had one in September, one in October. We have another one coming up in November, and we're one in December, which is Elvin Waddles Quartet. These are very popular, so popular that we've added a second performance in December to accommodate the demand from all the groups who want to come. We are doing this in our auditorium. So even if you're not part of a senior group, we certainly have the space to accommodate just walk-up seniors. So there's more information on that in your packet, and I would invite every one of you, if you find yourself free on one of the afternoons that we have Melodies, please come join me. I'll be sitting in the back enjoying it with the groups that are in. And then last part of the service agreement is community partnership program. So we still have our Inside Out exhibition up in the communities. This is the list of all the places that we were in 2023. I think it's going to be out for a couple more weeks, and then those will start coming down. We have an open application process for this program. I was just mentioning to your commissioner here from Pontiac that will be in Pontiac in 2024 and several other places across the county. So we're taking down the 23 program, and we're meeting with all our partners for 2024, selecting sites, selecting images that we're going to use. So we're excited to bring that program back. Since the beginning of the millage, we've been in over 100 communities. So that one just keeps rolling on, and the interest certainly has not waned. And then a few more community partnership programs that I want to highlight. The first two photos, I actually took these myself. I was out playing with the kids at Catalpa Oaks Park this summer in August. We do drop-in art making at fairs and festivals, and we were really excited to start shadowing your Oakland County Parks Division and add one more activity to their big come out and play events. I was there watching kids zip line and jump in the bouncy house, and we were happy to have art making there for the kids who might be adventurous in other ways. Another picture, Troy ESL. This is a group that comes in for our community group program. They've been to the museum, I think, on 5 visits with us. And this is kind of an intensive program in our studio where they have an experience in the galleries and then art making in the studio. And then this program culminates in a group show in December. So I'll be sure and get everyone here an invitation for that. And then lastly, a photograph of our Inside Out installation at Oakland Community College. So in addition to the communities that apply, we also bring that program to all of the campuses at OCC. And it is a great way to partner again with one of Oakland County's great assets, Oakland Community College. A few other programs, Minds on Art, Arts Beats and Eats. I know I saw Commissioner Woodward there for the Prince tribute and a few others. I think I saw Commissioner Jackson too. So that's a great way for us to bring DIA programming right out into the community. So that's just a quick synopsis of our current work. There's a lot more detail in your half-year report. So please, I always have an ask when I come. Help us spread the word about everything available for your Oakland County residents. And don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. I'm happy to help arrange for a museum visit, connect your educators, connect your school kids, connect your senior groups with everything we have going out at the museum. So I just want to introduce right now Judith Dolkart. She is DIA Deputy Director of Art Education and Programs, and she's just going to finish up with information on 2 current exhibitions and 1 upcoming.
Thank you, Julie, and good evening, everyone. I'm really excited to talk about 2 exhibitions that are on view now, 1 to come. So currently we have Ofrendas celebrating the Day of the Dead. This is one of our most popular exhibitions. We do it every single year. Our community gets to participate by recommending or proposing altars that commemorate those who have passed away. They submit their proposals, they're juried, and then they get installed in the gallery. So this is our neighbors who are doing this. There are 3 from Oakland County. And I would say this is when we get to see all of the school children coming through. They love this installation. And as I say, it's a perennial favorite. We now know that Detroit is the center of the art world with our USA Today award, but at one time it was Paris. And our exhibition After Cubism, Modern Art in Paris, 1918 to 1948, looks at how Paris drew artists from all over Europe and the United States to learn from masters, old masters, new masters, including the Cubists, who really shook up the art world and created a whole new paradigm for art making. So these artists came, they learned from the Cubists, they emulated them, but they also came away with their own styles. And I want the painting that you see on the screen is one by Archibald Motley, a great African-American artist who spent a significant amount of time in Paris, also studying, but also finding a freedom and a greater acceptance abroad than he did in the United States. This is a treasure of the collection, but the entire exhibition is drawn from the DIA's own collections, prints, photographs, watercolors. Please come and see it. People have been raving about it. And then finally, Regeneration, Black Cinema from 1898 to 1971. This show is going to open in February. It comes to us from the Academy Museum for Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. So they know the story of cinema. But this is an untold story, one that has really never been explored before. This is looking at how African Americans developed their specific voice in cinema. So working initially outside of the studio system because they had to, they developed African-American directors and actors and costumers to create important films that really tell the story of the African-American experience. The exhibition will include several films. It also has art contemporary art that riffs on the American experience, especially with film. And we are uniquely poised to present this exhibition because we have our 1,100-seat theater, and alongside of the exhibition, we're going to have a very important film program. It's going to be the focus of our Black History Month programs, but it will continue all through the run of the exhibition into June. So please stay tuned for that. You're going to see some exceptional films and programs to accompany the exhibition. And we're also working on programs for K through 12 students, so they will have an opportunity to see the exhibition on Mondays, our closed days, and then all through the run of the show. So we're really looking forward to welcoming students, but all of you to see what we have on view. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith, and the entire DIA team, and all of you and the residents of Oakland County for allowing us to do the work that we do. It's really an honor to serve the Oakland County residents, and if there is a minute, Chair Woodward, for any questions, we would be happy to answer.
We got a couple, any questions from commissioners? Commissioner Miller?
Thank
And
you,
then
Chair.
Commissioner Rahman and Johnson.
Mine's more of a statement. There's very few places that I find peace, but the DIA, that video captured it like amazing. That was a great video, and all I gotta say is wow, 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 that's amazing. Can you find that online on the website?
We haven't published it yet.
Okay.
We wanted to give it to you as a preview, so it's not known. We cannot use it, but as soon as it's published, we will share it with all of you,
Appreciate
and we'll
it.
put it on social media. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, amazing job.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Commissioner Rahman, followed by Johnson.
Thank you. Phenomenal presentation. We really appreciate that. And thank you again. It's a gem that we have in our community. I think we're spoiled having it. Sometimes we don't even realize it's there. My question was specifically in regards to the programs that you offer for kids and things like that for field trips. Do you reach out to the different school districts and sort of promote this program with them and work with them so that they're aware of this? And if so, I guess, what are you currently doing? And then the second piece of it is, how big a group size can you accommodate? I think of some of the larger school districts, and some of their class sizes are pretty substantial.
So we reach out to schools in a number of ways, and I'm going to have Judith keep me honest if I miss one of them. So we have an EduNews newsletter, so you can go online and sign up for that. It comes with an educator pass too, that gives teacher discounts in our stores and a few other special things. So that goes out frequently with, just promoting field trips and promoting our teacher PD. We are working right now to, I think our Director of Education just met with Oakland Schools art teachers. We're also on the agenda for an upcoming Oakland Schools, the public relations, I don't know if it's like a committee of Oakland schools. And then we're going to work to be getting on the superintendent's meeting agenda. So we kind of work sort of from the bottom up and the top down. We promote this as much as we can. We communicate with the schools that have been there before, but we're also prospecting. I know there's certain schools that we don't see. In particular, one of the schools we're trying to reach into right now is Pontiac. We have someone on our art authority who said they can make a connection for us there. So if you don't see your school on the list, let us know. If you have a connection in that school, let us know. We'll make that outreach directly. Am I missing anything?
I'm just going to add, you all are force multipliers. So talk to your teachers, get your kids to beg for a field trip so that their teachers make the appointment to come. And all of the information is on our website. Teachers can make a request for a visit through the website. We basically fill a school bus. I think that's about 60 seats. So, you can get a number of kids in any one visit. And it's really amazing to see them in the museum discovering.
Yeah, and there isn't a limitation. So if you have, 150 kids, we'll try to get them all in on the same day. If we can't get them in on the same day, we'll break that up. But there isn't a limit on size. It's just a matter of, fitting the puzzle piece together in the schedule. So,
Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was actually just pointing out that Commissioner Gershenson had her hand up too, but I will take the microphone since you gave it to me. I'm a freshman commissioner, so this is my first time engaging with you as an elected, but the DIA has been such an integral part of what makes me a person for as long as I can remember. I've been a member for before we had free admission. I'm a member of the Founders Junior Council. I am deeply inspired every time I walk in. My day job is at the Michigan Capitol building. We have on loan from the Inside Out program the nut gatherers in my office that I look at every single day. Honestly, anywhere I go, I abroad or domestically, I think of three assets really that I remember to never take for granted, and it's the McNamara terminal at DTW. I think anyone who's ever flown knows not to take that terminal for granted. It's the Detroit Institute of Arts and Detroit Opera, who I think collectively are really pushing what it means to be an art institution, and I am so grateful that you exist. So thank you. But I yield.
Thank you very much, Commissioner Johnson, and we look forward to working with you. Thanks everybody for the opportunity to report today, and please let us know if there is anything that you would like to know or you have any feedback for us. We would like to be as transparent as possible.
I just wanted to add my kudos. This was another great presentation. And it was very emotional for me because it's been an incredible 10 years. It's been a wonderful relationship with Jean. You really set the tone. This is really, I feel like we're family. Very few other organizations come and give us the respect and allow us to show our gratitude to you as well. And Tom, you've done a great job, 10 years on the Art Authority. Salvador, it goes without saying what a gift you've been to our community. And the programming that you've brought, it's just been inspirational. And the fact that you've reached out to us and invited us to attend so many of the incredible exhibits, and the exhibits continue. And Julie, I've really enjoyed working with you. She's kind of the backbone, not really in the forefront, but really solid. And I look forward to working with all the new staff that you have, and just our deep gratitude. What an asset for our city. When I think of the bankruptcy, I mean, I almost forgot how far we've come, and it's really a great tribute to the work that you all have done. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other commissioners? Seeing none, another round of applause for the DIA and the entire team. Thank you, everyone. All right. Our next presentation is timely as we embark on an election season and voting that's already underway in numerous communities that have local elections this year, but also the implementation of new voting laws, procedures, and opportunity. And to talk about some of the innovative stuff that's happening here in Oakland County, which we've talked about in the past, and how Oakland County has led the state not only in the processing and counting of absentee ballots time and time again. I think we're about to break new records again. And so without any further ado, I will welcome our County Clerk, Lisa Brown, to talk about voting and what's on the horizon here.
What's on the horizon? Thank you, Mr. Chair. So, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to share a little bit with you about what the early voting plan is for the majority of Oakland County. And of course, you all know our fabulous Director of Elections, Joe Roselle, here to fill in any blanks that I have. Which I should be able to fill everything. But anyways, so as you hopefully all know, in Proposal 2 in 2022, early voting was one of the items in there. And it stated that for every state and federal election, there has to be 9 days of early voting. And before I go any further, I want to make the distinction between absentee voting and early voting, because some people use those terms interchangeably and they are not the same thing. So absentee voting, as you hopefully already know, is filling out your ballot before Election Day, returning it to your city or township clerk's office, where it gets checked in, the signature is checked, verified, all that, and basically sits and waits until Election Day. Is sealed in an envelope until Election Day for the most part. And then on Election Day, taken out of the envelope and put through a tabulator by Election Day workers. Early voting is you fill out your ballot before Election Day and you, the voter, put it through the tabulator before Election Day. Now, let me first say that there's no tallying of votes before the polls close on Election Day. So those 9 days of early voting, no one's going to know, oh, you know, Mary Smith is ahead. There's not going to be any of that. But the advantage, I'll say, for early voting is, if let's say there's an office where it says vote for no more than 3, and you voted for 4, you return your absentee ballot, that will be flagged as an overvote, and if it is truly an overvote, your votes in that race will not be counted. With early voting, when you're putting it in the tabulator yourself, the tabulator is going to, I always say, spit it back out at you. I know that's not the right thing to say, but eject the ballot and tell you you have overvoted, and you have an opportunity to correct that. So you can take your ballot back, take it back to the election workers. They'll spoil it, give you a brand new ballot. Or you can say, you know what? They're all good. I don't care who wins. I got to get to work, accept my ballot as is. And so you have that opportunity with early voting to correct any mistakes. In an August primary, you know you can't cross parties. If you cross parties, you've spoiled your whole ballot. You vote absentee, you don't know that. Early voting, you're going to know that, and you have that opportunity to correct it. So here we are with the Constitution requiring 9 days of early voting. And I just gave you one example of how 2 elections differ, right? August primary, you can't cross party. November, obviously, you can vote however you want, but we have straight party voting on November ballot. There's so many differences between elections, and I really wanted some continuity from election to election. So even though the requirement is that early voting be in state and federal elections, we, for the majority, I guess I have to keep saying, of the communities in Oakland County will be having early voting for every election. And we are piloting it for this November. And I say for the majority of Oakland County, because we asked our community, so I guess I should go back. Municipal clerks had the opportunity or the option to run early voting themselves, to partner with another municipality, or if the county offered, to partner with the county. And I had said before the proposal even passed that if it passed that we would offer this. Just to put it in perspective, some of our neighbors have not offered that at all. So Wayne, Macomb, Genesee, Kent, not that they're a neighbor, but another large county. The county, at the county level, they're not doing any coordination. It's all up to the locals. So we're taking on a lot. Happy to do it with a smile, but I have to credit everyone in my elections team. They have been working beyond overtime. I want to credit Marcy in the Register of Deeds, under my Register of Deeds office, who helped create the maps that all of you have. And I'm going to talk about those a little bit. So in a lot of other states, so early voting, totally new for Michigan, but it's not new to our country. A lot of states have had this. A lot of, 46 of our states run elections solely at the county level. So their early voting sites, they'll have 1 per county in a lot of places. And a lot of our counties in Michigan will be doing that. That's not what we're doing here. So we're going to have 18 regional sites, again, and I'm going to talk about this for a second, for the communities that are partnering with us. In addition, we're having 1 central site, which will be at the Waterford Oaks Activity Center. So anyone from those 45 communities that are partnering with us have 2 locations that they can early vote at. I do want to highlight the 7 communities that are going on their own, and they're striped with the diagonal stripes on the map. Brandon Township, Groveland Township, Fenton, even though we have 14 voters of Fenton, we know the majority of Fenton is in another county, so they're not partnering with us. Auburn Hills, Bloomfield Hills, South Lyon, and the city of Rochester. Did I name them all? Okay, I named them all. So they're all going alone. So that's why I say for the majority, okay? Sorry, Brendan, are you stressed with your community? Okay, so the majority, but all the others have partnered with us. So we had 18 meetings with lots of clerks. We put them in communities together, or with in groupings together. Said, okay, what kind of sites do you have in your community that we could possibly use as an early voting site? The law says it really should be a publicly controlled or owned building. So we know on election day, oftentimes it's a place of worship that a lot of people go and vote at. That's not an option for an early voting site. So a lot of our communities had no buildings available for that. So our partnering worked really well. And so for each of our locations, they're all going to have the same hours, the same days. So they're all going to have 9 days. 8:30 to 4:30 every day of those 9 days, except for Thursday, we're going to do noon to 8. Even though we have 2 weekends in there, we wanted to make sure we could, accommodate any kind of work schedule or life schedule that somebody may have. So giving that that evening as well. The maps that each of you have are the locations in your county commission district. So it may include communities that you don't represent, but it is the early voting sites that are in your district. So again, saying our hours, those 7 communities may have different hours. They may not be doing it this November, or they may not be doing it in the off years, as we call it, in non-state and federal elections. But for these 45 communities, we'll be doing that. We've done time trials to figure out how much equipment we're going to need. We want to make this the most efficient process. We had 40 voting booths in our training room. We brought in local clerks and their staff to act as voters, had them fill out the ballot from November 2022, and time how long it took to get through 50 voters approximately, with 1 check-in station and 1 tabulator, and then 2 check-in stations and 2 tabulators, and then we added a 3rd check-in station. And then, much to Joe's chagrin, I said we have to have a 4th time trial, and that is operating off of paper and not having an electronic poll book. The reason I did that, and I breathe heavy when I say this, so we feel comfortable with what we have control over, but we have to get the electronic poll book and the program that runs that through the state, through the Bureau. And how many hours did you spend on that today? All day.
All day.
All day. We've just gotten access to be able to even see what it's going to look like, and it's not smooth yet. So there's a reality that either paper could be an option, or I don't want to say this, but maybe early voting doesn't happen this time, because if we can't have an electronic poll book, or if we can't even print off a paper poll book to use, we can't do this. So I know that the Bureau is working on it. Clerks who are piloting around the state are all working on it and giving their feedback. It's a little stressful. I'm having nightmares literally every night about it. But we're doing what we can. So really, I want to thank you all, though, for your support. So many of you have said things in support of us doing this, and it means a lot, because I know not every county not every county clerk has that support from their board. As far as the funding and everything goes, for the voting equipment, for ballot on demand, so we're going to be using ballot on demand, which means it's really a ballot printed just for you when you come to vote, when you come to do early voting. We put in a grant. The state has a pot of money. There is an incentive for those that do collaborate, that we will be getting a higher rate of reimbursement than those who are going alone. We don't know what that looks like yet because the state, again, the legislature appropriated a sum of money and everyone had to turn in their grants, their grant applications to say, you know, we need $1.5 million for this, and another county, I think somebody asked for $4 million or something. Well, it was ridiculous. But anyways, so until they know what everybody's asking for, they don't know how to divvy it all up yet. So we don't know what rate of reimbursement we'll get or how much will be reimbursed. But it will be a higher rate than those communities that are going alone. I feel like I could keep talking, but I want to see if there's any questions or if you think that I've covered everything so far so good. Okay. Questions? It's a lot.
Well, I think it's another example of Oakland County leading the way to make certain that every vote counts, and taking on this responsibility when you don't have to, in a lower turnout election, to be ready for the high turnout elections next year. Takes a lot of guts.
Yeah.
And but it's all motivated by the same reason, is to make certain that everyone can vote the way that they want to vote, make sure that every vote gets counted.
Yeah.
Is there any questions? Commissioner Miller, followed by Rahman, followed by Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question is are these locations going to be the same every year going forward, or there's possibility they'll change?
So we have license agreements out to these sites, these buildings, if they're run by a community to the community, if they're standalone to them, that they will be at least through 2024.
Okay.
And I should say that everyone who has an upcoming November election that we're running early voting, hopefully, for should be getting a postcard in the mail. The law requires for every elector to get a postcard, so it's not by household, as to where their sites are. So similar to what I won't have a map, but it'll have the address of the locations. So everyone has that Waterford Oaks. But, you know, some of the sites we're using were a little hesitant. You know, we're taking up space it's more than 9 days because we have to set up either on the Thursday or Friday beforehand. So if it's an activity room in a library that often uses that room for, you know, other events, for book clubs or whatever, you know, maybe they were a little hesitant, but, you know, we're willing to jump on board this time, at least through 2024. So hopefully it'll be in perpetuity for most of these sites. We'll see. But the license is through 2024.
Well, I appreciate that, because a lot of questions I had last election was where's the location, because they've changed, and people are used to going to the same spot every time,
Right.
and then it changed. So I want to make sure when I put this out to my constituents that they get to say it's still 2024.
Right.
And then we'll
Right,
let you know.
and that's another one of those, like, I want continuity, right? So yes, you want to know that early voting starts the second Saturday before election. It's 8:30 to 4:30, except for Thursdays, noon to 8. My site is here or at the Waterford Oaks, like, to have that continuity. And just let me just say also on those postcards, that's a one-time thing unless something changes. So if something happens to, like, your local site, another postcard will have to be sent out.
We received our postcards today.
Oh, you did? Oh, good. Yay. Okay. Yay. They hit. Yay.
Commissioner Rahman, followed by Long.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We appreciate everything you guys are doing. I mean, it's a lot of work, clearly, and a lot that's going into it. I echo, Chair Woodward's sentiments that we are definitely leading the way, and I'm really proud of that. I'm also excited at the fact that most of our CVTs are partnering, which to me would make sense. I don't know what the rationale is for the other 7. I mean, I can hypothesize what their reasons might be, but that's a whole other discussion for another day. I wanted to just speak a little bit about, you mentioned there was something that if it didn't quite work, and I think I lost you in the discussion there when you were mentioning if something doesn't go according to this plan, we may have to derail, or that was the nightmare that was keeping you up. Can you just clarify that a little bit for me, please, so I can understand?
So when you go and vote, if you vote in person, when you fill out your app to vote, your application to vote, and then you go over to a person in front of a laptop, that we refer to as the EPB, the electronic poll book, that has the list of voters for that location in it. They'll take your ID if you have it, scan it, pull you up, and then mark you as voted. So traditionally, what we've always had is that an electronic poll book has all the voters for that one precinct in that electronic poll book. Even if you have a location, a voting location, where if there's a high school gym that has 2 or 3 precincts that vote in that one gym, they still each have their own EPB, their own electronic poll book, right, for each precinct. So for early voting, this isn't at the precinct level, this isn't even at the municipality level, right? This is a regional level and some county level, where multiple communities need to be downloaded, right? Okay, and so it's different programming, and the Bureau is also trying to make this work in a live environment, so that if you go and vote early at your local site, you then can't drive over to Waterford Oaks and also early vote there. So it's not ready for prime time yet, like today, right now. And that's what's giving me nightmares, because early voting starts in a week and a half. So hopefully they're all working overtime as much as our team has been to make it all happen. So we need that so that we know who's supposed to vote there and check them in as having voted, so that we don't, yeah, so.
Do we have kind of a state that, hey, look, if it doesn't have to by this date, and again, hopefully it doesn't come to that.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine there has to be some opportunity early, then it makes sense, right? So that we don't know.
Yeah, the 25th. Joe's saying the 25th. I mean, because here's the thing. We need to be able to tell people if it's not going, right? And I mean, early voting is supposed to start the 28th. We need people to know that if it's not happening. So, and I mean, quite frankly, Joe's already started training people who are supposed to be working in the early voting sites. So there's been kind of a gap in the training of not having that module in there of how to work what will be the electronic poll book or the early voting tool for that. So we're going to have to bring them back in to be able to train them on that too.
I just wanted to highlight, and I don't know if you mentioned it, the Monday before Election Day will be off. So I don't know if you mentioned it, but I just wanted to specifically call
so
that
then
out.
thank you. So the 9 days are like, it starts the second Saturday before an election. So you've got that weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday through Friday. Then the next Saturday, Sunday, it ends that Sunday. Monday is the day before the election. There is no early voting at that point. And then Tuesday is Election Day. Thank you.
Sounds like Commissioner Rahman will be up at 3 a.m. worrying about this as well with you. So if you need someone to commiserate with, he'll take your call.
I can't tell you. It's,
Commissioner Long, followed by Commissioner Spitz.
Okay, thank you, Clerk Brown. That was good, very informative. And as you know, there are a lot of residents or public that were leery about the early voting, and a lot of rumors went around. So this presentation is very good. So I just want to reiterate that you're going in person, you're showing ID,
Yeah.
you're getting a ballot in person right then, and then
Yes.
you're actually putting it into the machine yourself
correct.
that day.
Correct.
Okay,
Right.
you know what went around before when this was on the ballot and stuff about the early voting, that there was going to be problems with it and stuff. So I just think this presentation was very good.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to reiterate that it's, like going to the polls on Election Day, but you're just a different day, and there's times and there's the same procedures in place.
Yep, the difference is ballot on demand, but again, it's going to be printed for you, right? So you come in and you fill out the application to vote, and you come up hopefully to the electronic poll book or the early voting tool, and they pull you up and they say, oh, Chris Long, she votes at precinct 3, and so then your information, your application, everything is handed to the next person who's working the ballot on demand equipment, and you kind of slide over there and they pull up your precinct, precinct 3, print, and your ballot is printed just for you. Okay. It's not a free-for-all of let's just print ballots and anything else. And don't forget, we have to balance. So Correct. What that means is we're making sure how many people voted, came through, filled out applications to vote, matches how many ballots are in the tabulator, how many names. So, I mean, we're making sure that those things balance every night.
Thank you. That was a great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. And for those who, a lot of people have made a lot of doubts about elections in the last couple of years. And one of them also was with the absentee ballots and wondering if they're all counted or whatever. And if you doubt that, again, going to early vote, you're putting the ballot in the tabulator yourself. And our equipment, when you put that ballot in, when it's been counted, when it's gone through, you get that picture of the American flag saying, your ballot has been counted, so you get that affirmation that, yep, your ballot's been counted in there, so.
Thank you.
Commissioner Spitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Madam Clerk. Commissioner Rahman asked one of my questions relative to the date, which is the 25th, but he reminded me of another question. With Monday being off, I know historically in the past, Saturdays prior to the election were open at most municipalities to come and vote. Is that still the case, that previous Saturday? Because a lot of people do not know that.
So it's not necessarily Saturday, it's 8 hours that weekend before. Okay. So local clerks can choose if it's 4 hours, I'll say $4, 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday, or do it all in one day, but they still have to be open for 8 hours, whether it's Saturday or Sunday before the election.
So that is still the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
That's in the law. Sure. Whispering in my ear. Okay, yes, thanks, Joe. So if you used to going to our website on election night and seeing, what the results look like, we're now going to have 3 columns of results. So we're going to have absentee ballots, we're going to have election day, and we will have a 3rd column that will have the early voting. Again, not until the polls close on election day, because we won't have any. We won't have any numbers, and the equipment is actually programmed that even if somebody tried to print a tape to get the results, it won't. So there's a lot of security in place so that no one will know what any results are until polls close on election night.
Great. Any further questions? Commissioner Miller for a second time.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. One last question. With the early voting, does that change the time when a resident moves that they can, change their address? Does that change that timeline? Because you have to say you moved with a certain time to vote in your new.
No, you
okay.
still have
Just
to
want
be.
To make sure.
Yeah, residency. Yeah, none of that has changed. You still have to. Yep.
Thank you.
30 days. Yep.
Great. Well, a lot of information. I think the plan, Clerk Brown, that you and the elections team has put together, I mean, what I like about it is that it's scalable, that it can take in record turnout elections in November elections or even small number elections. So I think it's, looking forward to watching this. I think on behalf of all the board, thank you for your leadership. It might be helpful if 2, 3, what are the key talking points that for us that would be going to our local municipalities? I don't have time to give this presentation, but I mean, a couple footnotes, and most importantly, to direct the clerk's website, your website, to make sure this is where people get more information.
Yeah.
And the maps. And can we get the maps electronically? Yes, that's the other request that's out there. So, but good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have to change the slide. Did I change the slide? There we go. I forgot to change it to that one.
Okay. That concludes all the proclamations and presentations. I'll move us to communications, and I'll call on the clerk to read the communications.
Okay. The first communication is dated October 17th, 2023 to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Commissioners, I am hereby appointing the following individuals to serve on the Oakland County Safer Communities Ad Hoc Committee for a term expiring December 31st, 2024. Marcia Gershenson, Janet Jackson, Penny Lubes, Angela Powell, Under Sheriff Curtis Childs, or his designee. Your confirmation of these appointments is respectfully requested. Sincerely, David T. Woodward, Chairman, Oakland County Board of Commissioners. And the next communication is also dated October 17th, 2023, to the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. Commissioners, I am hereby appointing the following individuals to serve on the Acorn to Oak Steering Committee for a term expiring December 31st, 2024. Brendan Johnson, Ajay Raman. Your confirmation of these appointments is respectfully requested. Sincerely, David T. Woodward, Chairman, Oakland County Board of Commissioners.
All right, and move to receive and file the communications. Moved by Commissioner Cavell, seconded by Commissioner Rahman. Commissioner Spiz.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Just like to make a comment. I just noticed the lack of bipartisanship in these two committees for the appointment. So I know historically Oakland County has been very bipartisan, so I hope in the future, Mr. Chair, you'll reconsider some of these appointments as things potentially change going forward, and we will see some more bipartisanship on these committees. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Hoffman.
Very simply put, there's no Republicans on either committee.
I wouldn't say that. Sheriff's represented. Okay, anyway. Duly noted, though. Thank you very much. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. The ayes have it. Moving on to the first public comment of tonight's meeting. So I think someone signed up for public comment. So this is the first public comment of the evening. This is to talk about items that are on the agenda. We have a second public comment to talk about any other items. I think someone signed up and then crossed off. So I will ask anyone, does anyone have anything to speak that's on the agenda? And if not, we'll come back to the second public comment. Seeing none, we will close public comment. And we'll move on to reports of standing committees. The first up is the consent agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the consent agenda? Moved by Commissioner Powell, seconded by Commissioner Hoffman. Any discussion on any of the consent agenda items? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
You can still, we haven't closed it yet.
I don't know, mine didn't prompt up either. Should we clear it and then do it again? Or,
I think we have to.
yeah, let's try again. Okay, so we're just going to reset it and then.
Because you don't have the orange. Here, if you
It won't count twice.
go back to the agenda and then click join the meeting.
Nothing.
There's got to be the orange on the bottom.
Okay, you can vote at your desk.
I am in full board.
Yep, so Gwen?
Yeah, because we redid it because people didn't have it, so. You still don't have it?
Here, Gwen, I
Did you
got it.
did you join the meeting?
I did refresh it.
Commissioner Cavell doubles as our tech support.
Hang on.
I'll do it.
Hang on, let's see if-
I'll vote yes.
I refreshed it.
Okay.
I mean, I can leave.
Did you join the meeting, yes?
I did, I mean, I'm on it. It says my name's on it.
Do I log
Yeah.
out?
Yeah, I know, it's, yeah.
Maybe we can get Aaron to come home.
Partisanship.
Okay, are we?
This
Okay.
is why this board
I'm
needs young members and all their tech forward thinking.
All right, I'm going to ask for a voice vote for a few of you. Commissioner Woodward,
But wait,
Yes.
I still didn't get it.
Commissioner Joliet,
Yes.
Commissioner Long,
Yes.
Commissioner Markham. Sorry. Okay, thank you. Commissioner Rahman?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Mr. Chair, you have 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voted in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. That will move us to the regular agenda. And first up, I will call on Commissioner Smith Charles.
I'm before you to bring forth the Economic Development Infrastructure Committee's County Executive appointment of Jeannie Dangerfield Broad as Oakland County's Economic Development Director.
Moved by Commissioner Smith Charles, seconded by Commissioner Rahman. Any discussion? Commissioner Spiz.
Is the candidate in the House?
I don't see her,
She's not here today,
but she was at committee.
but she was at the committee.
Great,
Yep.
thank you.
I can just say that she brings a tremendous wealth of experience, her experience with Michigan Economic Development Corporation, the work that she's been doing in Oakland County. She has a dearth of experience here, and she stepped into this leadership role when the position came vacant and has been doing an incredible job. And so I encourage commissioners, if you haven't had the opportunity to reach out, she's incredibly responsive and would love to hear from you. Seeing no further discussion, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Is it working?
Yes.
Commissioner Woodward?
Yes.
Commissioner Nelson? Yes. Oh. Okay. Mr. Chair, you have 15-0. 15 yeas, 0 nays.
A sufficient number voted in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Smith-Charles.
That concludes my portion of the agenda. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Now move us to the Finance Committee, and I will call up the Chair, Commissioner Gwen Markham.
Good evening, and thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 2 items on the Finance Committee tonight. The first one is item 15A, appropriating the American Rescue Plan Act local fiscal recovery funds for medical debt relief for Oakland County families. I move that.
Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Cavell. Any discussion? Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I am not comfortable moving forward with authorizing $2 million without knowing what hospitals in Oakland County have agreed to be a part of the RIP medical debt program, and I'm not comfortable authorizing $2 million without being able to see the contract and terms. And furthermore, I'm not sure why outbidding collection agencies is better than changing the law. And so for these reasons, I will not be supporting this resolution.
Thank you, Commissioner. Anybody else? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote. Yes.
Commissioner Woodward?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 12 yeas, 3 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. Commissioner Markham.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. My next item is item 15B, appropriating the American Rescue Plan Act local fiscal recovery funds to reimburse county operations related to the response of the public health emergency and negative economic impacts. I move that.
Moved by Commissioner Markham, seconded by Commissioner Smith-Charles. Any discussion? Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just want to confirm, this money that we're transferring from ARPA, just want to make sure I get the acronym correct, goes back into the general fund, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that and make sure everybody in the public knew that it wasn't being allocated to somewhere else. Thank you.
Correct.
Great. Yes. Any dollars, I mean, if this resolution passes, any general fund dollars has to come through this board for appropriation. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Mr. Chair, you have 15 yeas, 0 nays.
Sufficient number voted in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Markham.
That concludes the Finance Committee portion of this meeting. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. I will next call up the Vice Chair of the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee, Commissioner Brendan Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I have before us today only one item for the regular agenda, and that is consideration of resolution in support of Michigan State House Bills 4062, 4063, and Senate Bills 205 through 207, prohibiting landlords from income-based discrimination.
Moved by Commissioner Johnson, seconded by Commissioner Cavell. Any discussion? Commissioner Spiz.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to make a motion to set aside this topic until the next board meeting, I think on November 2nd. Reason being, the analysis for these Senate and House bills just came out. I'd like a little bit more time to review those and get into the details of these. I mean, it sounds good on the surface, but as everybody knows, everything's in the details, right?
All right.
So that's my motion.
It's a motion by Commissioner Spiz to postpone to our next meeting, seconded by Commissioner Long.
Wait, can I?
Is that a debate? That's a debatable motion. So
Point of inquiry. What analysis are you talking about? State what?
Ooh,
These
I got something to say.
these bills are from February.
yeah, these are good. All right.
Okay, never mind.
Okay,
All right. Sorry.
All right. We'll start with Cavell, and then we can ask for clarifying questions. Commissioner Cavell.
This passed the Senate last week, the state Senate. So this is, I guess, you needing to do your own analysis is your responsibility?
All right. Okay. So, I mean, I think the Commissioner Johnson, do you want to weigh in?
Sorry.
No, never mind.
No.
Okay. Any further discussion on postponing? The motion on the floor is to postpone to the next regular meeting. I guess let's do a roll call vote on it. Oh, wait, just before we do that, Commissioner Hoffman.
No, there was a confusion between another one, so my bad.
All right, do you still want to postpone? Are you still moving to postpone?
Yeah, I'll keep the motion on the floor, yes.
Okay, the motion's still on the floor, but we do have the analysis is there.
That's correct.
All right, so still a motion to postpone. The analysis has been available for a while. The bills were introduced in February or so. Okay, there's a motion to, Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Has GMAR weighed in on this?
Yes, they're in favor.
Thank you.
Wait, just a second. So Mike's in here. All right, there's a question. Has GMAR weighed in? Commissioner Cavell, would you like to respond to that question?
Yes, forgive me, Chair. Yes, GMAR and over 100 other organizations and advocacy groups, including the Michigan League of Public Policy, several homeless agencies, several developers like Community Housing Network have all weighed in support of this. And this has been introduced, like Chair said, in February, and it passed the Senate last week, and it's up for a House vote, perhaps before our November 2nd meeting also.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, I don't see any reason to postpone. I will be voting against postponement. Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote for the motion to postpone.
Commissioner Rahman? Mr. Chair, you have 5 yeas, 10 nays.
An insufficient number voting for postponement. The motion fails. It brings us back to the main motion. Any further discussion on the resolution? Seeing no further discussion on the resolution, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote on the resolution.
Commissioner Miller?
Nothing has come up yet, but yes.
Commissioner
Still in
Rahman?
waiting mode.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. Commissioner Rahman? Mr. Chair, you have 15 yeas, 0 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative. The resolution is adopted. Commissioner Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. That concludes the report of the Legislative Affairs and Government Operations Committee.
Thank you very much. I will call on reports of special committees, the Healthy Aging Ad Hoc Committee, and call on Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. There's one agenda item, the appropriation of American Rescue Plan Act local fiscal recovery funds for the Oakland County Chore Pilot Program. I'd like to make a motion to appropriate American Rescue Plan local fiscal recovery funds for Oakland County Chore Program in the amount of $3 million and authorize the Neighborhood and Housing Development Officer to act as a program administrator and to enter into a contract for services with Oakland Livingston Human Service Agency, subject to review by the Purchasing Division and Corporation Council.
Moved by Commissioner Nelson, seconded by Commissioner Joliet. And these are dollars that we had assigned for this and are moving forward to the actual appropriation to provide these services to our older residents across the county. Any further discussion? Commissioner Nelson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just as a reminder, this $3 million was a part of the $8.5 million senior initiative that this body had approved last year. In that resolution, we did state that we would assign $3 million out of that 8.5 because of the uncertainties of actually moving forward with the chore program. So this is a really exciting evening tonight that we are moving forward with a chore program in partnership with OLSHA. But I just wanted to make that clarification that the $3 million had initially been assigned, and this evening the $3 million is being appropriated.
Right. Commissioner Long.
Okay, my question may have to be, you might know it too. You may know it too, Chairman. But so is this going to be marketed through OSHA?
No.
How will the communities find out about this? I
So-
guess, is it going to be through OSHA or what?
So
Yeah.
essentially, this chore program, we're working in partnership and collaboration with OLSHA to create a toolkit.
Okay. Saw that.
With that toolkit, the idea is that it will be able to provide tools for our communities across Oakland County to get started with their own chore program with mini grant opportunities within this program moving forward with a chore program.
All right, so the toolkit initially, so OSHA is initially going to start the marketing, obviously with these toolkits, and then everyone in the Oakland County, all the municipalities are, this is available to everyone.
That is correct.
Okay, thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. Any further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please prompt the vote.
Say that out. Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Hoffman?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, you have 15 yeas, 0 nays.
A sufficient number voting in the affirmative, the resolution is adopted. Commissioner Nelson? No further business. That will move us to new and miscellaneous business. I'll first, in some number of resolutions being referred to committee, I will recognize Vice Chair Gershenson.
I'd like to introduce a resolution. I'd like to introduce a resolution on behalf of Commissioner Lubes for the Clausen Friends of the Library program.
And we'll refer that to finance without objection. Commissioner Yolanda Smith-Charles.
I'd like to introduce the sponsorship of the 2023 Southfield Chamber of Commerce's An Excellent Holiday Party to the appropriate committee.
And we will refer that to finance without objection. And then I will call on Commissioner Hoffman.
Thank you, Chairman Woodward. This is a resolution opposing the Michigan House Bills 5120, 5121, 5122, and 5123, and Senate Bills 585, 586, 587, and 588 that preempt local control for solar and wind developments. I'd like to suspend the rules and act on this immediately because this is moving through the legislature quite quickly. And this is not about being for or against solar or wind.
Let's take them
It's
up in
about
order.
Local control.
Moved by Commissioner Hoffman to suspend the rules. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Spiz. Now, debatable motion. All in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Nay. The nays have it. The rules are not suspended.
Okay, time out. This is not about whether we're for or
Commissioner
against.
Hoffman, would you like a roll call vote?
This is about local control. They
Commissioner
want to take
Hoffman.
it away.
Commissioner Hoffman.
That's okay.
The rules have not been suspended.
Okay.
Would you like the item referred to Legislative Affairs and Government
Sure,
Oper-
please.
Referred without objection to Lago. All right. I believe that the new business that was on the agenda, and move us to announcements. Any announcements? Commissioner Cavell, followed by Commissioner Spiz.
I just want to say thank yous more than anything about everyone's support and working with the executive and Madiha, and especially Chair Woodward for helping with his advocacy on this for the racing medical debt. Just, I appreciate you all because that will impact 80,000 families in Oakland County, and they're in every corner of our communities. So I just want to say thank you all for your support and help, but especially shout out to exec folks and Chair Woodward.
Thank you. Thank you. Commissioner Spiz, did you raise your hand for announcements?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. I think everyone's aware that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, hence the pink. So thank you, Commissioner Hoffman, for handing out the corsages to everybody. Please wear them proudly. But I also like to announce that this Friday, the Real Men Wear Pink of Oxford is doing a campaign in downtown Oxford for their Witches Brew. So if you have time and you like to come up to Oxford and enjoy the downtown area and then donate some dollars to the breast cancer awareness by either buying a t-shirt, wristband, etc. There'll be some material there for everybody to hopefully be able to donate and purchase something. Please come on out. Be glad to have you. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Miller.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just announce that I know we've supported the UAW. Again, the casinos have gone on strike today. So I always say friends don't let friends cross picket lines. Thank you.
All right. No blackjack for me. Any further announcements? Seeing none, this will move us to the second public comment of the evening. We got a couple people who signed up, so I'm going to just call those in order. We just ask that people keep their comments to 3 minutes. Address your comments to me. And I will start with Ivan. Sorry, Ivan. If you can share your last name. Yeah. Derowitz. Pleasure. Welcome. Hey, can you share the community you're from? The community where you're from?
Oakland.
Fantastic.
Hello, Commissioner Board. My name is Ivan Narwitz. I was here about, I would say 6 months ago on Business Matters. Within those time, I've been working a lot. I mean, over, to say about 200-300 hours a week. Well, within 3 weeks, I worked 268 hours back to back. And working every day, trying to get something done. And that getting something done is actually making a change in this world. If you don't know why I'm so shaky right now, it's because I'm speaking from my heart for once. I, over the time I've been here, have talked to so many people who have tried to accomplish so many things. And I have looked in people's eyes and I've evaluated so much over time. And I have learned that all I see is just agony, suffering, and sadness, lack of hope, lack of everything that keeps this world moving at the pace it's supposed to be moving at. It's 2023 and we are stuck doing what? Mundane tasks, working at Dollar Tree, this and that, blah, blah, blah. So much talent sitting around wasted, exhausted. And the amount of lives that's lost every day that we don't even bring up is absolutely astonishing to me. I mean, I have grown tired with waking up in this world every day, seeing the sorrow and misery that my family, friends, and sisters and brothers all expressing them, telling me that there's nothing they can do. And in reality, as I evaluated, in many cases, that is the case. Every time I hear anything, and people trying to make a difference for themselves, that there's someone there to stop them. As our own country does not care about the fact that our system allows people to take advantage and do nothing in stopping that. We just beat each other up. I have spent $6,000 building an architecture that gives small businesses the power of corporations, so that we can actually work together, so they can get the resources they need to support and be there for the people. But since there's not a single bit of hope left in this world, there's nothing for them to draw on. They see that I offer nothing. And that's fine. If I offer nothing, that's sure. If my purpose has gone towards being mundane and taking care and being babysitters to people, then so be it. But the fact of the matter is that beyond the surface of what we're all doing here every day, we talk about these small, mundane things, but our roots, they're rotting. Every day, they're rotting. People are miserable. sad, crying. When we go home, I'm pretty sure a lot of people question if they even did anything within their day. I know I still do, and I don't know why, when I've spent every aching bone 28 years on this planet to make a difference. That's what I have for my public comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up, I have Norma Okonski. Norma, welcome back. I know you've been here before.
Thank you.
If you can share your community of residence. For the
Awesome.
record.
Great. Good evening, Mr. Chair and honored board members. I'm here tonight to explain to you Oakland Hope. I'm Norma Okonski, the founder and executive director of Oakland Hope, and we are Oakland County's largest food pantry located in Pontiac at the corner of Baldwin and Walton. I want to thank you for your past support. On June 23rd of 2021, Oakland County Board of Commissioners passed resolution number 22247 as an ARPA grant to help fund Oakland Hope's food pantry. Hunger and food insecurity was an issue prior to COVID, but since COVID, hungry people continue to line up at Oakland Hope by the thousands. I need to make you aware of the urgency, what is happening on the food front lines and at the food pantry. In August, another monthly record was set. Over 15,058 people received free groceries at Oakland Hope. Due to the continued surge of hungry children, families, seniors, veterans, and immigrants in need of food is why I'm here tonight. We need your financial help. The community needs your financial help. The hunger and poverty in Oakland County and specifically in Pontiac is at crisis levels. Between benefit cuts, the strike, rising inflation, and the aftermath of COVID, this food crisis continues, and is why I'm here tonight seeking your financial assistance. Oakland Hope has a 12-year proven track record of a ministry who understands and responds to the social detriments of health due to food insecurity and poverty in children and adults. I'm inviting you to contact me. Let's schedule a tour. I think it's really important for you to come for yourself and understand the food crisis here on the front lines in Oakland County. I believe it's important for you to understand how critical this funding is for the hungry and food insecure in our county. Hunger has no zip code. It's everywhere. You need to understand what an asset we are to Oakland County, and we are depending on your financial support. I happen to have brochures if anybody's interested. And the last thing I'd like to point out is this is just 1 week of people who have asked for your help. This is just 1 week of people. So if anybody has any questions, I would love to answer them. We have 25 seconds left.
Well, we don't usually do Q&A during public comment, but
Okay, awesome.
We'll make certain that if you can pass those brochures to Commissioner Cavell, we'll make sure it gets in everyone's mailbox.
Great. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Norma. Any other public comment? Commissioner Powell?
Yes, I just wanted to respond, my colleagues, just to let you know, with Oakland Hope, this request has been shared with one of the deputies over at Executive Coulter and Leanne. So they are aware of this request from Oakland Hope in regards to the food issue, and I'm just waiting to get additional information and direction, and I can update my colleagues as to where things are at with this request with Oakland Hope. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much. All right. I think that's the last. Any other additional public comment? Seeing none. Thanks, Norma. Close public comment, and then we will stand adjourned till November 2nd or call the chair.